Hello there. My name is TJ. I have a mental illness. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, severe depression, and anxiety. Um, I started wanting to do this page because I know before I was diagnosed, I knew very little about it. I didn't know all the stuff that goes on, the different types of help you can get, things like that. Um, Plus, I was the only one around me dealing with this. So I felt like I had nobody, I had nothing. I was just in this downward spiral by myself. But once I got some help, I've been hospitalized 3 times within the last year. I did get diagnosed with deep depression um, November of last year, and January of this year, I got my diagnosis of bipolar disorder. Um, and the reason why I decided to do this page basically was because I know there's a lot of us out here who either feel like you're all by yourself or don't know who to turn to, all those things. That's why I want to start this page because that's how I felt. And no matter what, there are people out here who feel the same way you do. There's somebody out here that always you can talk to. Um, I don't know how many you'll be familiar with it, but there's a program called NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. And they are a great, great, great support system. They've helped me out a lot. Um, and also the hospital that I was in, mental health facility that I was in, I get them a shout out. It's the one in Davison. I cannot remember. It's something Levine. It is in Davison. Not 100% sure, but I will have it for you later on throughout this video. Well, no, maybe on my next video I'll have it for you. Um, but they helped me out a lot. Helped me understand that just because I repeatedly come to the hospital, that it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it takes, going to the hospital to get the help that you need, being around people who are dealing with what you're dealing with. And also, NAMI has done that same thing for me. As a start, I want to kind of just share my story with you guys and how it began, and also explain some of my day. As you see, this is my natural where I am most of the days. You see, I'm in my recliner. There's my front door. I'm sitting here, um, mainly because either I'm depressed or I'm afraid to go out in public. Um, I suffer a lot of manic ups and downs. Emotionally, I'm up and down. I go from running 100 miles an hour in my head to 1 mile an hour in my body. Um, then it switches. My body's running 100 miles an hour and my brain's running 2 miles an hour. And I can never catch up. I can never get it where I want it. Um, but uh, that's just where I am, most days. But let me give you guys a little background on me. Um, I was a truck driver, mechanic before that. Loved working on cars. My hands got bad on me, arthritis. Uncle Arthur got me at an early age. I'm 39 years old. I know that's to some people it's old, but to me, I'm still a little young. Most people who 39, 40 say, yeah, we still young. Um, but I ended up. Let me turn this TV off. All right, there we go. But I'm 39 years old. I've been working on cars most of my life. I've been back and forth between working on cars and driving tractor trailer. Um, been driving tractor trailer for about the last 5 years. Um, and within the last year and a half, started having a lot of problems. Feeling severely depressed, feeling, a lot of anxiety, just a lot of stuff going on. I can't get a hold of it. Um, I'm all over the country. I didn't want to get out the bed, couldn't get motivated to move, hard time sleeping, all this stuff. So I thought it was just normal. I thought it was just, so I got a job where I was a little bit more, I was home every night, and I still was having the same problem. Then finally one day, I drove for Transport America. Hopefully it's okay I say their name. But also I was driving for another company. I better not say the other company's name. Um, I'm also, I was on the other company, um, and I ran to Virginia, South Carolina. There was a lot of stuff that was just local. Dropped off, picked up. Well, just so happened this one day, I went to Roanoke, Virginia, and anybody who knows anything about 81 or 77 coming out of Virginia, I was on my way back, loaded, bringing stuff back to the uh, warehouse, and the last thing I remember was getting off to call my wife and tell her I was having problems, I wasn't feeling well. Um, Mentally, I was drained, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't push it anymore. And I told her, I said, I make it back to Charlotte. I want you to take me to the hospital, find out what's wrong with me. And got back in the truck, pulled off, and it was the last thing I remember. And I got about almost to Charlotte, and all of a sudden, I realized that I come down that hill, come down that mountain, not knowing where I was at, not knowing how I did it, nothing. I was staring at the speedometer the whole time. And it scared me so much because here I am coming down the mountain. I don't know how many of you know a lot about tractor trailers. That thing is 79,000 pounds. That's fully loaded. And I could have hurt somebody. I could have drove myself off the bridge. A lot of things could have happened. But by the grace of God, I made it back to Charlotte. I made it back to Kannapolis and had my wife take me straight to the hospital. Committed myself and went in. This was November of last year, and I went into the hospital. Um, and that's where they, told me I had major deep depression and anxiety. And they put a name on it. They helped me out, understand a little bit more about it. But I knew it was more to it. I know some other things was going on because I'd be up and down one minute and down in the dirt the next. So what I began to do is seek out a psychiatrist. While I was home, because they pulled me out of work, of course. And what I did was I finally found a psychiatrist that would listen. Then that was January. So finally, we did a couple different things and we got an idea of something that would work. But I end up having to go into the hospital to really get it to work and get my medicine managed right. I ended up spending another 7 days in the hospital in February of this year. And pretty much it held me. It did pretty good, and I don't know whether my body got used to the medicine or what was going on. But what ended up happening was I ended up back in the hospital here 2 weeks ago. Stayed in there for 10 days. Well, actually, it was the beginning of December when I was in the hospital. And then I was in there for 10 days. So I've been home 6 days. But regardless, because either my body got used to the medicine or had some more stuff going on. End up treating it, and I went to the doctor today to get another appointment so they can manage my meds as well. So that's pretty much where I'm at, what I got going on. And I will be doing this channel a lot. Not sure what I'm going to name it just yet, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully I'll catch you again. Remember, mental health matters. And that's what the tag you'll find on here, Mental Health Matters. And we'll come up with a good title for it later. And drop your comments. Let me know what you think about it, what topics you want to talk about. If you're dealing with bipolar, deep depression, anxiety, holler at your boy. Let me know the things that you go through. Maybe we can talk about them. Maybe I'm going through the same thing, because I'm going to talk about my problems. But I don't know what you're going through, unless you tell me. But like I said, remember, mental health matters. And talk to you guys later. Bye.